Hi, Giselle, it's Jamie. We have a new story to read. This one is titled Nathan is Coming Home. And if we look at the picture, we see a little boy and he looks really happy. He looks like he's in a classroom that looks like a teacher and maybe her desk and a chalkboard and some other students at their desks. And so let's read. Nathan is Coming Home, written by Anne Hart. Theo skipped into the classroom. "You seem happy," Mrs. March said. "My brother's coming home today," Theo said. Mrs. March smiled. "That's wonderful." Theo nodded. "I haven't seen him since last year. He'll pick me up after school." But 3 o'clock seemed far away. At 9 o'clock, Theo drew a picture for Nathan. Theo looked at the clock. His brother would be there soon. At 10 o'clock, Theo wrote a story about Nathan. Theo looked at the clock. His brother would be there soon. At 11 o'clock, Theo made a paper chain for Nathan. Theo looked at the clock. His brother would be there soon. It was lunchtime. "Aren't you going to eat your cookie?" Georgia asked. Theo shook his head. "I'm saving it for Nathan," he said. At 1 o'clock, Theo made a painting for Nathan. He wiggled in his chair. He tapped his feet. At 2 o'clock, Theo wrote a poem for Nathan. He drummed his fingers. He sighed. It was almost 3 o'clock. Theo wiggled and tapped and drummed and sighed. Knock, knock. Theo looked up. His brother was peeking through the door. "Nathan!" Theo grabbed Nathan's presents and ran to the door. He pulled it open. "Hello, Theo," Nathan said. "Did you miss me?" Theo hugged his brother. He gave him the picture. He gave him the story. He gave him the paper chain. He gave him the cookie. He gave him the painting. And he gave him the poem. Nathan laughed. "I guess you did miss me," he said. Cute story. Have you ever had a family member or friend come home that you haven't seen in a long time? That's a fun time. So the first question is, how does Theo feel about Nathan? Well, Theo missed his brother so much, and he was very happy to see him. So I'm thinking he really liked his brother a lot. And the second question is, how long has it been since Theo saw Nathan? Well, at the very beginning of the story, it said he hadn't seen him in a year. So it'd been a whole year. And how is Nathan related to Theo? Well, they're brothers, right? They were brothers. And how does Nathan feel, or how does Nathan know that Theo missed him? Well, he knows he missed him because he gave him all those gifts when he came home and saw him. Let's see, what did he give him? He gave him a hug, a picture, a story, a paper chain, a cookie, a painting, and a poem. That's all those gifts and the big hug probably. He knew that he was so happy that he was home and that he did miss him a lot. Okay, well, that's the end of that story. I hope you have a really great day, Giselle. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.